My name is Jean Jeter Kunit. I've been teaching in Lunenburg County for 18 years. I've taught art at all levels from elementary to high school, and I've been here at the high school for 10 years. And in the last 3 years I've started a photography class in addition to the art classes. The button activity that we were doing today in the classroom was a very basic activity, but it culminated an advertising unit that we were doing where the kids create a button that they're going to sell in the community, so it has to be eye-catching. I'm grading for different things like that. And they're just going to create a button that they think would sell. Yeah, the objectives in the button assignment were to stimulate them enough with past examples so that they would be able to create something that they were happy with, so that hopefully nobody came out with something that wasn't going to be made in a button. Doing the activity, I kept saying, it may not be selected, but hopefully I could get them excited enough about the project that everybody came out with one that was going to be made using all the different techniques that we've talked about and making an eye-catching, appealing design. First, I like to hear what they say in their critique, and so I have the critique where they give me some feedback so that I know they haven't just put up something the first thing they could do, because they know they have to verify what they've done and they're going to have to say something. The critique is usually a little more in-depth, and I think that they usually are a little more apt to talk about each other's work than they were today. That helps a lot for them to see what they could have added to it and changed. But I'm looking for clarity of design. I'm looking for the fonts and the type matching what they're trying to portray in the button. I'm looking also not so much as what's going to sell. That's not important in the grading. The grading is all about the design being eye-catching and appealing to someone who is going to wear it. This activity, normally the first day, we would probably, now that we're on block scheduling, it would take 3 to 4 days at the maximum. I would try to wrap it up in 3 days, and that's with printing the buttons and producing the ones we think would sell, and then on the 4th day we would have them up in the school on sale. So that would be the maximum number. The materials that we used I didn't think seemed very advanced, but they really make the project work, so I couldn't fabricate something that we didn't use. We used Broderbond's Clip Art CDs, and they look in a book, and it gives them something visual to look at, and that kind of keys them into getting started. And usually that's all we ever used, but now we started using the Clip Art on the internet as well as the Clip Art on the computer, on the Microsoft programs as well. So that's what they were using today, were those 3 things. And then some students were using scanned-in images that they scanned in. This particular strategy I chose because it really is hands-on, and I could stand up all day and show a really good button, but until they create the design, look at it in black and white, then see it in color, get the feedback from their peers, and the feedback and the grade from me, they're not really going to understand the concept of an eye-catching design without all that. So I felt like it was not as big a product as a giant product or company or business, but when I thought about it, it became the culminating activity because of its simplicity. Probably one of the greatest insights that I have from them, before I tell you about theirs, they are so in awe that they see people walking around wearing pins that they made and they're not kin to them. I had this giant football player who just came in. He goes, "You didn't tell me the people were actually going to buy it. I knew that's what it was for." And he's like, played football and he came off the field and people were hugging him and they were wearing his pin, and he was so excited. And it was somebody who wasn't in the class today, graduated a couple years ago, and he's like, "I just had no idea someone would buy what I did." And I think that was pretty exciting for them. Another insight they have that I've noticed is that some of the things that I can't figure out, they're so quick to figure out what's wrong if something doesn't move and something doesn't overlap or see through something else that needs to. And it's so wonderful for them to be able to share that with each other. And I am always open to that, and I hope everybody always is, because they have the answers. I don't know where the kids get the answers from. If I'm not able to come up with it, somebody in that room will figure it out within 5 minutes, and that's been one of the biggest insights that I've come across, and everybody just needs to make sure that they allow their kids to do that, because I think that's real important.